Hi, I'm Ned Fulmer. 3 years ago, I cheated on my wife with my producer. It became a massive public scandal that caused a lot of pain to a lot of people. I know that I represented myself as a kind of wife guy who talked about his relationship and put that out there for public consumption. And you, as a viewer, I know that I broke your trust. I betrayed my spouse, co-workers, friends, family, and I betrayed you. And I know it's not just about cheating, that I was a company owner and having a relationship with a producer, was engaged and friends with all of our friends and coworkers. It was understandably a messy and devastating situation for everyone involved. And I was the cause of it. I did that. And I can't change it. I can't change the past. I can own it and accept it and try to change how I show up differently in the future. So I wanted to say that I'm sorry. I hurt you. And I hope to make amends over time. And one step is to publicly witness the pain of my partner, Ariel. This is a conversation with Ariel in this video. It's painful at times. It's honest, vulnerable, brutal. But it's necessary for her to move forward, and I'm grateful for the chance to witness it. As disappointed as we were that something so private and painful became such a public spectacle, I get why people were so outraged, and I understand that that is the reason that she can't move forward with any sort of public thing without addressing this. So this is that. This is a conversation where we answer your questions. We share what we've been up to these last 3 years and what you can expect from us moving forward. It's about an hour long, and I know that from my perspective, I want to tell stories of curiosity and empathy, and I want them to be meaningful and have value in people's lives. So I hope that you find this impactful. So please join me for this conversation with Ariel Fulmer. Well, here we are.
Back again.
At it again. It feels weird. It feels a little awkward.
Yeah. Back in a podcasting room.
Yeah.
I mean, we've certainly had a lot of conversations where we've sat like this.
Yeah, that's true.
But not, conversations that are meant for the public.
Mm-hmm. Is it strange to think that people are watching this and listening to it rather than just being in like a therapy setting?
Oh, heck yeah. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm on the verge of like standing up and walking out of this room. Absolutely.
Same.
I'm like, what the hell am I doing? What am I doing? But no, I feel like this is a necessary thing.
Yeah, we've kind of been just keeping our lives very private for the last 3 years.
We have.
Just almost hiding from the world.
We've been hiding. We've been hiding from the world. And I'm not going to lie, it's been kind of great. Mm-hmm. It's been kind of great to be super private.
And it's ironic because we don't stop becoming recognizable figures. People still come up to us. People still recognize us. And to the extent that we're kind of moving forward in our lives, that's something that you've talked about. It's like, how can I move forward in my life without people knowing the next part of my story if they're still stuck on the 2022 part of my story?
That's kind of the thing, isn't it? And that's the whole reason that we're here, because we're stuck in 2022.
Yeah, at least as far as they know.
Exactly. We have moved on with our lives.
Yeah, we've moved on for a while.
We
now.
have moved on with our lives, but like, as far as everybody else is concerned, we're still stuck in 2022.
Yeah,
and that brings us to the whole reason that we're here, and the reason that we can't walk out of this room, because we live in a social world. Mm-hmm. Right? And we can't move on with our lives if we don't, move on publicly.
Mm-hmm. Like publicly reestablish the context of who we are, how we relate to each other after being so public with our relationship before.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a really strange thing, actually, like that we can't do anything publicly without kind of addressing this first.
Well, yeah. I mean, in 2022, it got so big, right? The whole scandal, it grew and grew and grew and grew, to the point where it just became this thing that just like got so much bigger than us.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just sort of hid away from it,
Same.
And going completely dark was the only thing that I could think to do. And for the last 3 years, I've just hidden behind the scandal, and now, like, now I can't get out from behind it.
Yeah, because it's a big step to like sit down and do what we're doing and to talk about it.
Right. But even like going out in public with like my kids or just going out to dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like the only thing that people see is the scandal.
Yeah. It's a big loss.
It's a big loss, but it's a really strange way to go about your normal life. Mm-hmm. Like, I am a human who has needs. Like, I want to have regular friends, and I don't want to like walk up to somebody that I want to be friends with at like preschool and have to start every conversation with like, my personal life is a dumpster fire, as I'm sure you know, but also, do you want to be friends with me? Like, I'm not going to lie. I have some really authentic friendships that have started that way. But like, I don't want to go about my life starting friendships like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of want the new friends to to know the context of like who you currently are as a
Yes,
person.
exactly.
I remember I have met some people, like made new friends or kind of introduced myself to strangers. It's like, oh, let's like exchange Instagrams. I'm like, well,
Right?
here's mine, but couple of caveats. One, I have a lot more followers than you might expect. Two, all of this is pretty outdated. And three, don't Google me.
Don't Google me.
Don't Google me.
You
Just
probably don't want to
get
Google
to know
me.
me first. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You don't want to be just sort of seen as the sum of your mistakes for me or the sum of your past for you.
Right.
And the challenging thing is it's been complicated for a while. I mean, we are still friends. We have children together. We go on trips together.
Right.
Like, there's a spectrum of being together, not together.
Right.
Like there's ways in which we're together, but it's like the way that everyone wants to know, like, are you guys still like an item? Are you guys still a couple? Like, no. We really haven't been at all this last 3 years.
No, we haven't.
Like, there's moments when we kind of tried, but just because you go to a Taylor Swift concert together doesn't mean that you're, that
Doesn't mean
all
that
is
you're
forgiven
together.
and you're.
No, like people ask me, like, do you forgive Ned for what he did? And I mean, the answer is no, absolutely not. How can you forgive somebody for lying to you, for cheating on you? No, fuck no. I don't even. Sorry, I saw red for a minute. It's like, no, the answer is no. But also I feel like forgiveness isn't the goal at this point.
Mm.
We've been together for a long time.
Mm.
And you are the father of my 2 beautiful children. And we know each other really well. And we've worked through a lot of stuff. And the fact that I can be around you and still like have a good time and like enjoy spending time with you and enjoy spending time with my kids, like, I think that's a win.
Yeah. It's taken a lot of hard work to do that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, as we've adjusted, we've recalibrated our relationship more towards a platonic friendship, and then it's just been challenging, but like I think we're getting to a point of sort of celebrating that and really like embracing it and accepting it for what it is, as we're like grieving the past. And it's hard to hear you saying like, fuck no, I don't forgive you. But of course I get it. I mean, you're still, as much progress as we've had, you're still very angry.
Yeah, of course I'm angry. We're talking about like not having sat in this position for 3 years, and like, yeah, of course I'm still angry. We lost a lot. There's there was a lot that happened 3 years ago. It was, I mean, I found out about your affair from the fans. I mean, and I was so blindsided that somebody sent me a picture, and I couldn't. It was like my brain couldn't compute. And it's like, for some reason, I didn't see what was actually there in the picture. I thought it was your sister. And I remember sending it to you and being like, what's your sister doing in New York? It was, and I think back on that and I think, like, what was I, like, how did I not see what was going on? Like, what was so fucked up in my brain that I couldn't actually see what was happening in this picture? Like, the picture was right there in front of me, you know? Mm-hmm. And then the pieces just started falling and falling and falling, and like, and then more pictures started coming in, and more pictures and more pictures and more pictures. And it is so wild how we live in this world where everything is so public. Like, you don't realize it, but everybody's taking pictures of you everywhere you go. And it's kind of scary, actually. And it makes you realize that whenever you leave your house, you're like, you're not safe, you know? And it kind of like, and then after everything happened, I sort of went into this, like, this weird state where, like, nothing was safe, and nothing and nobody, like, I couldn't trust anybody. I couldn't trust the public. I couldn't trust you. I couldn't trust my friends. I just stayed inside, like, because there were cameras everywhere. You know, it was like, it was so unsafe. Everything was unsafe. Yeah, it took a long time to like get back to myself.
How did having it become such a public scandal kind of change everything for you? Did it make it worse? Did it make it easier? Did it just sort of make it surreal?
It was so many different things. And it was all tied in together too. You know, I think that, and it all, it's like the trauma of discovering that you've been, that, like, everything that you know isn't real. And then add to it this other part where you're sort of being being watched by cameras, which isn't something that's, like, a part of our lives. Like, yes, we are somewhat public figures, but, like, we've never had cameras waiting outside of our house. Like, that's not something that we're used to. like we're not like celebrities. That's not
Yeah.
that's not a part of our lives. And this was a period in our lives where we had like there was like a car following us, and it was really strange because we had just found out that we were dealing with this with this cheating situation, with this betrayal. We decided to find a new couples therapist, right?
Right.
And so we were driving to our new couples therapist, and so we were in the car together because we decided to drive together, and you decided you needed a snack, and so you had a Tupperware with you, and I had my jug of water, and we got in the car together because we were like, well, why don't we drive together? We're going to the same place. And so we get in the car, and we were driving there, and so you're like eating your apple as you're driving, and I turned to you and I was like, Ned, I think there's a car following us. Like, I'm pretty sure this car has followed us from our house. And you were like, oh, that's weird. Like, I wonder what that could be, And then when we park outside of the couples therapist's office, and we see that this car has a camera, I was like, I think that person just took a picture of us. And so we went inside and we talked about it a little bit, and then we had our therapy session, and then we came out, and then there were multiple people outside, and it was probably one of the strangest situations that I personally have ever been in. I did not know what to do with my face. And so my reaction when I don't know what to do with my face is I smile.
Yeah.
That is my go-to reaction when I don't know what to do with my face. I just smile like an idiot.
That was my reaction too.
I smile like like a cat. I just smile. And
this is the video that everyone
saw. And
like leaving couples therapy.
We're leaving couples therapy, looking at each other like we don't have a care in the world. And it is because we are absolutely just beyond like this is so bizarre. What is happening right now? This has never happened in our lives ever. We don't know what's going on. Like, let's just get to our car, and we're just like, just smile, like, they're not going to hurt us. Who are these people? Everything's fine. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That was the strangest situation. It was so bizarre.
I remember our neighbors during that time were doing some roof repair work. And so there was this there's a construction unmarked white van outside of our house, and it was parked there for like weeks. And we had it in our heads that it was a paparazzi van, and
it absolutely was not. But it was like the strangest thing. I thought
just for weeks, anytime you walk out the door, being like, "Oh, there's a van."
Yeah, that was really strange.
I can see how that caused you to really feel unsafe and mistrusting of the whole world. Just want to acknowledge that and just note that it's like because of things I did that caused you to experience that.
Yeah.
What was that moment like when everything changed for you?
Awful, obviously. It was kind of surreal. I thought to myself, like, what would somebody who's been cheated on, like, what would somebody in a movie do?
Really?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking like of a specific movie or something like that. I was thinking like, what do people do in this situation? I wasn't thinking I wasn't thinking for myself. I was thinking like what do I do next? And I remember we were in New York, and you were just picking me up from the airport. And I was so like naively, so you were driving a rental, and I just naively looked over to you in the driver's seat, and I was like, why was Grace in New York? Like, I didn't realize Grace was in New York. Why was she, referring to that picture that I had sent to you? And you looked over at me with this look on your face, and it was like the veil just fell, like this, like I knew in my brain that something was going on, but I just sort of refused to believe it. And then when I saw that, like, just wildly guilty look on your face, like you wanted to tell me something, and I didn't even let you say anything. I was like, turn this car around. You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember it happening like that, but it doesn't matter.
How do you remember it happening?
Oh, I mean, you asked me a couple of different follow-up questions as I just sort of answered them. And then, once I, answered it in such a way that you knew exactly who it was and what had happened, then you were like, take me back to the airport.
Yeah.
That part was very cinematic, if you were trying to be like in a movie.
Turn this fucking car around.
I mean, yeah, I think there was a lot of sort of delusions and rationalizations that you, as the person doing that, sort of are telling yourself as to why it's not so bad, or why it's going to be okay, or why actually this talked about it in this way. And then it's like, I remember that moment, it all just kind of like fell down, where I totally could see how devastated and just completely traumatized you were. And then it was just like, oh, everything changed for me as well. I'm like, oh no, this is like, I've been hurting this person that I love this whole time.
You didn't realize until then?
Well, but then there's other things you tell yourself to kind of sort of compartmentalize, or I guess.
Interesting.
It's sort of a, it's like a addictive cycle, kind of feeling really guilty and ashamed, and then telling yourself the ways in which it's, kind of just lying to yourself. And then, yeah. And I did want to tell you, and there was probably a small part of me that was sort of relieved to not be keeping a secret, I guess. that hard for you to hear?
No, that part's not hard for me to hear. I think it's, I've done a lot. I've spoken a lot with other betrayed partners over the last 3 years, and it's something that I've heard a lot. This idea of like when there's this sense of relief when the partner who's doing the betraying is able to finally tell the betrayed partner that about all the things that they have been doing, and kind of put their shame onto the other partner. Right. They, in that like sort of release of their like, of all of that like
shame and
guilt and guilt that they've been holding. It's almost like they feel so much relief, but the partner then has to accept it. And that's exactly what happened. When you told me, suddenly then I had to take all of that guilt and shame of your affair, and it was so much to carry. So much. Like, and I know that it, like, and suddenly something that like you had, that, and it, like the wild thing is that this was something that you had done. Like I had no part in this. This was not like, you could even say that you had done this to me, like I was the victim of this situation. And yet when you told me, I had to like accept your guilt and your shame. And in our like society where couples are, especially married couples, like when men have affairs, women are often looked at as like, well, what did you do wrong? And it is so hard to get out from under that of like, well, what did you do to make him look elsewhere? Were you not a good enough wife? Were you not, did you not make him happy enough? And there's so much shame there. And I'm so tired of holding that. I'm so tired of holding it. How does it make you feel to hear that? I mean, did it ever occur to you that like, not only did you having an affair just it shattered our marriage, but it also, like, all of that guilt and shame, you like hoisted that on me. Like, you gave that to me. And now I have to carry that around for the rest of my life.
I don't think it's fair that as a society you're put in that position. It's certainly not true. And no, it's not something that I imagined as I was doing that. I think none of it was. If you really like let it sink in just how much you're hurting your partner and how devastating it is, like, how could you do that? It's still very difficult now, even 3 years later, to see you in pain as you're talking about that. And I guess there's nothing I can do to change the past or to help.
It's kind of weird to think about it now, because I feel like I'm in a really good place now, and going back to like before I discovered the affair, it feels like going back to this weird fantasy world where like, I don't know, I thought we had this love that like transcended, I don't know. But it was a fantasy. It was like, you know, I trusted you so completely. And I mean, we grew up together. We got married when we were like in our early 20s.
Yeah.
We were babies. We had nothing. I mean, we moved out to LA with just our car full of stuff. I mean, I'm like tearing up just thinking about it. We were just kids. And it's like, it really was a fantasy. And I just think, how could you do that to me? Like, who are you?
I'm so sorry.
Like, we had so much. There was so much. We had so much life left. We still have so much life left. I don't know why I'm crying.
I think it's like the loss of that dream that we both had. It felt like that in that time period for me too.
What happened?
Well, the dream started to break apart for me, and then rather than being able to talk about it or to confront those feelings, I wanted to, I guess I was too afraid to say how I was actually feeling, and it seemed, I don't know, I chose to deal with it and deal with like feelings that I was experiencing in a way that was really self-destructive and hurtful to you.
Mm.
And it wasn't like anything you did or like we had a bad marriage. It was about me and choices that I made and just actions that I took that I'll always regret. I'll always regret how much pain I caused you and other people. You know? And I'm deeply, deeply sorry. And I'll spend my whole rest of my life trying to make amends to you and to, you know, show up differently, to lead a life of integrity and to be a father that our children can learn from. Because you did nothing to deserve this, and I completely, suddenly, violently shattered our marriage, our relationship, and like everything you knew, and yeah, it was all my fault. It was all choices that I made.
So where do we go from here?
I mean, that's kind of how we've been, what we've been working on, I guess, over the last 3 years. We can make new promises to each other as friends, as co-parents. What was the thing that kind of started changing things for you?
Maybe just time. Time and, I don't know, courage. And I mentioned making those authentic relationships, like finding those real friends.
Oh.
And they're like, I don't care that your life is messy. I really like you for who you are. I see your joy. I like every part of you.
Yeah.
And I want to be a part of your life. Like, don't push me away. You know?
Mm-hmm. It was a real moment of kind of discovering who your real, true, authentic friends are, and kind of then cherishing that, and you know, those people that you can kind of be completely yourself with.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not just seeing a one-dimensional version of you.
Yeah, totally.
When did things start to feel a little more safe for you?
I think as I just got more comfortable talking to people about like what happened, and they just seemed to not care.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it just wasn't a big deal.
It is kind of funny. It's like the whole, you know, internet and people making TikToks seem to care so much. And then you meet anyone in real life and it's like everyone has some way to relate to some sort of a cheating story.
Just like all the parents at Wes's school, or, you know, they're like, either they don't know or they don't give a flying fuck. They're like, yeah, who cares? You know, they're like, it's one of many scandals. Like, also, it was 3 years ago. Like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like that's kind of how we feel. They're like, they're sort of like,
right, because when you're in that school environment, like, there's a bunch of different types of families and parents, and some people are together, some people aren't, and I'm sure every marriage or relationship has a story as to how it breaks down.
Like, it just gives you so much perspective.
Yeah.
It gives you so much perspective to just be in a group of people where nobody cares.
Yeah.
You know, and it gives you, honestly, I think that is what gives me the courage to just be like, you know what? It's okay.
Right.
I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. I can live in a world where this has happened and people know, and also we've moved on. You know?
Right.
Like, I can go on dates and not have people be whispering about me. I don't know. I just imagine a world where I can just be myself and not have this thing following me around. You know, where I don't have to like, where maybe we are at a restaurant with our kids and I don't have to feel shame because I'm like, you know, having fun.
Right.
You know, where people are like, oh my God, are they back together?
Right.
Just because I'm like having a joyful time with my kids and my ex-husband. You know? Like, is that a crime?
Yeah.
To feel joy? Like,
Can I live?
You know?
Let them. Let them. Yeah. 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 I mean, we're going to Greece together next week.
Right.
It's like, life is weird sometimes.
Like, yes. Like, we travel together. It's we have a familial relationship.
Yeah. It's we've like redefined our relationship, not as partners that are romantic partners.
Yeah.
Those sort of like, you know, family or platonic partners and pals. If you want to say pals. I feel the same way, that it was kind of the social communities in school or wherever you are that you kind of just start to feel less alone.
Yeah.
Where, you know, somebody that's your friend or like another couple that you're friends with just will say like, you know, hey, like, it was shitty what you did. And also, everyone goes through hard times and you move forward the best you can. And whether you are together or not, or sort of together friendly but not romantically, like however you want to live your life as your family moving forward, that's like your business.
Right. Yeah.
And at the same time, people looking on the outside can kind of feel that nonchalance, and on the inside it's like, what I did to you is one of the most devastating things I think that a person can experience. Like, I understand why, broadly speaking, these like scandals are such, you know, ignition points, because it's, a lot of people can relate to it, and a lot of people feel so much pain around it.
Mm-hmm. And it can be both.
It can be both, yeah.
And it can be both at the same time. It can be both at different times. Mm. And, you know, it can be one thing one day and something different another day. You know, I have some days when I hate your guts. And, you know, and there are other days when I I enjoy your company more than not. And that's okay. It can be both.
It can be both.
You know, some days are really sad because I feel the loss. But other days, I feel a lot of gratitude and joy for where we're at now. Especially, I mean, our kids are awesome.
Yeah, they are.
And I mean, they're worth every cent we've spent on therapy. Like,
yeah, because I mean, that's like a big reason why we're working so hard to rebuild.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know if I would call it rebuilding. I think we're building something new.
Yeah, for sure. I think you have to feel it like that. The past is no longer.
Oh, burn that shit to the ground. I'm kidding.
My wife. Yes. It's very strange living and having a marriage while also having that be so like public facing. Did you ever feel that there was these like layers of like the public facing you versus the real you?
Yes, and that was always a struggle for me because I felt like I wanted the two to be the same. You know, I always wanted to be one whole person. And I didn't want to be like an actor on camera and then another person in my real life. You know, and that's the funny thing about like being a YouTuber or being an influencer is people expect you to be one person in your real life and on the internet. And then when you're not, then it's like, well, you're lying, you know? But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it's ironic because at the same time, I think what the internet wants from you is to be a one-dimensional character.
How so?
Well, you know, I think, you know, if you make TikToks as like a certain persona or doing a certain joke, if you deviate from that joke, oftentimes your like engagement will plummet. Like people kind of want to like just see, it's like, oh, it's like you're a stereotype. You're kind of like that person. And I guess I noticed that in my own work. It's like the things that consistently drew people in were adorable family posts or talking about my wife, and then producers lean into that and like craft situations for me. And I don't know, over time it felt super pigeonholed and just like I had to fulfill this one like quadrant in a foursome to just be this like, you know, kind of caricature.
You were like put in a box.
I think it's very hard to like be a full person with nuance on the internet. There's always sort of a performance layer.
So what are you going to do now that you're back on the internet?
It's a great question. I, for a long time, didn't want to return to the internet because I didn't see a way of. I didn't want to be myself. I didn't want to make anything. I didn't feel creative. And as time has moved on, I have a desire to create and to tell stories, but I don't really want it to be about myself as a character or myself or my relationship or my personal life. I've always been drawn to things that make people curious and finding ways of connecting people with their interests. And so I came up with I don't know, I see myself more as like a host and more as just a vehicle for other people's stories. And I don't know, maybe I can, because of what I've gone through and my past, like connect with people and empathize with people. What?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, you think you're interesting enough?
No, I don't.
You think other people?
I think other people would be interesting, and then that's regardless of whether I think I'm interested. I don't want to talk about my personal life or my family. Like, I want to keep our children out of the spotlight. I want to keep our dating lives private. Like, it's not a good idea for my mental health, at least, but I think also in general, to sort of make your whole life your brand. I want to make stuff that helps people learn things, make stuff that helps people like empathize with others. And the idea behind the podcast is to tell stories of other people's challenging times and how they overcame them. Because if there's one thing I noticed, is that people really seem to care about the train wreck that I caused.
Would you say that was your rock bottom? Have you hit your rock bottom? Or do you think?
I hope so, yeah. Yeah, I would say my rock bottom was... It's funny. In the car, there was still a part of me that thought, maybe, because we'd been doing therapy, like we kind of had talked about a variety of things, and my rock bottom was, being in a... I think the moment for me is you like sent me a text that night that was like, I don't think we can get past this. And it's just sort of like my whole world crashed. I was like, oh, right. What I did wasn't like in our boundaries or in any sort of... like what I did was unforgivable, and there's no hope. And I don't think I slept that night. I remember writing you a long letter, and it was ironic. That weekend I was at a wedding, and they like played our wedding song as their dance. And it was like black tie. Everyone's very fancy. I was just like stepping away to cry every 20 minutes. Well, we only have a couple more minutes. I know we could keep on talking. Maybe we will, but...
Are there any last minute questions we need to address before?
Are we together?
We are not together. We live separately. We are devoted co-parents to our two beautiful, beautiful children. Wes, who is 7, and Finn, who is almost 5.
Are we dating other people?
I mean, I'm open to dating other people. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are dating other people. Yeah.
Will you ever be returning to some of your past work?
What kind of work?
Like your old podcast?
No. No, I don't think so. No, I'm grateful for my time there, but no, I think that era is over.
So what's next for you? I know that, you're a creative person, that you've been doing a bunch throughout your career, and it's kind of like, it must be exciting to kind of be like a solo artist now.
Yeah. I mean, these last 3 years have given me a lot of time to like kind of express what I love. And I've gone back to pottery, which is something that I was really into in college. It started out as just something that I wanted to do, just to, like, I don't know, kind of center myself as like a hobby. But I've gotten really into it, and I've been spending a lot of time in my own studio, and I'm starting up my own business. Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah. And we'll see where it takes me. Yeah.
Do you think you're going to be like a public, do you want to continue being an influencer?
Probably not. For a couple of reasons. I mean, the first reason is that I really enjoy just making stuff in my studio by myself. I know that sounds so silly, but I love just going into my pottery studio and just sitting at my wheel and getting so dirty and not filming it, and just doing what I want to do and making mistakes and just sometimes making really shitty stuff and not having to tell anyone about it, Mm-hmm. And the second reason is that I feel like sometimes, and we don't have to put this part in, but it is a valid reason. I feel like sometimes people who are on the internet, there is another standard of beauty for people who are on the internet, and I don't want to hold myself to that standard anymore. I'm going to be 40 this year, and I want to look at myself in the mirror, and I want to say, fuck yeah. I don't want to look at myself in the mirror and be like, oh my God, are people going to notice that I don't look like I'm 30 anymore? Are people going to think that I look old? Are people going to think that that this is bad, or this is bad, or this is bad? I love looking in the mirror and being like, you know what? I look great.
Yeah.
Like, good enough is good enough.
It's a refreshing place to be. Huh?
It's so great. It's so great to be like, I look awesome.
Yeah.
I don't want to look in the mirror and be like, I don't look good enough. I don't love that place. And I think that being a public person, that you sort of have to look at yourself that way. Or at least that was my experience, and I choose not to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, I also love creating, and instead of making pottery, I like making media. So there is this sort of inherent, if I'm going to be in it, you have to kind of think about what you're saying, what you look like, and yeah, it can be hard, but I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
What can I do as a co-parent and a friend to continue supporting you and to being? I mean, what do you want from me going forward?
Just be authentic. Just be authentic with your audience.
Like, what are your hopes and dreams for the future?
I just generally want to be the person that I genuinely believe that I am. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like for a long time I've wanted to be one person, but I've lived the life of a person who isn't that person. And I'd like for those two things to be the same.
Same.
Yeah. And
what do you hope for the two of us?
I just want each of us to grow in the way that makes each of us happy. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to be who you are, and I want me to be who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I want for you to feel like you can be who you are, and I want you to feel like you can do that without judgment. And I want the same for myself.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think that by kind of moving forward more as individuals, we'll each be able to kind of be the best version of ourselves and to kind of discover maybe parts of ourselves that are less to the forefront when you're like really in a relationship. But that's for us as individuals, but for us, as co-parents, I hope that we raise boys of honesty and integrity that are happy and feel loved. And I hope that we're a team who tells each other what's on our mind, even if it's not always, hard to say or easy to hear. That's what I hope for us, is to have a parenting partnership based on in laughter, in respect, and in honesty.
Me too.
Thank you again to Ariel. Thank you for your honesty, your vulnerability, your directness. This truly meant a lot to me, and thank you for watching. Next week, I'm excited to not be the subject of the episode. I'll be having a conversation with Lara Love Harden. She is a mother who overcame a battle with heroin addiction and eventually was a Oprah book club bestseller. So it's full of insightful and human drama, and you're not going to want to miss it. So see you next week, and take care.